Okay, so we were at the we were at the stage where we were speaking about we were speaking about the Fibonacci exponentiality, and we were speaking about price exponentiality, and we were speaking about the um, Will-Ferrado-Pareto rule of 80-20, and what we were trying to illustrate here was that the Fibonacci mathematics is also about proportion. The price structure of Elliot was also about proportion, and the proportion has a mathematical symmetry to it, and this is why Elliot and Fibonacci work well together because they are both talking about similar proportionality. And this is the reason that Elliot and Fibonacci are actively used together because they both are mathematical. And this is why an Elliotian can really count uno, due, tre, quattro, cinque, a, b, c. The reason he can really count it to the smallest degree. I do not know whether how many of you practice Elliot, but Elliot, the people who practice Elliot and are Elliotians called Elliotians are the ones who can really count the smallest detail. They can count a 1 minute chart, and from that 1 minute chart, they can uh, they can really build the whole price structure of multiple years. So they can start from a small price structure and they can build the complete structure from there. So the reason they can count it is because there is a mathematical ness about the Elliott wave structure. Though like any other tool, even Elliott has its biases, and Elliott can also two Elliottician can also vary in their views, but still the mathematical part of Elliott is very clear. The psychology of part of Elliot can never be clear because we all are psychological beings, and we can get biased at a certain stage, and we may not be interpreting things right. So it is not about the Elliot theory being wrong, it's about how interpretation is made. Now this is the structure where I have counted it. Okay, I'll try to speak a bit quieter. So here we have counted this structure, and what we are doing here is we are showing uh, 3 degrees of subdivision. There is a large 1 in a circle, there is a large 2 in a circle. These are the first two trends, a trend up and a trend down. Now this uptrend and downtrend can are two legs, one leg up and one leg down, which can also be called as a cycle. There is a bet fee or markets going up from do mi to do mi shopte, and then from do mi shopte to do mi now it comes down. Now this could be like the bet fee structure. Now we are saying that this bet fee structure or any bigger stock, any well traded market asset can also be subdivided. So in the one again we can see 1 in bracket, 2 in bracket, 3 in bracket, 4 in bracket, and 5 in bracket. So this again, that one we have subdivided into five-legged structure, which was also identified by Dow, which was also mentioned by Elliot, that there are 5 legs in the larger structure, and in that larger structure of one we have shown 5 legs, one bracket, two bracket, three bracket, four and five bracket. So then if you go to just into the one bracket or the first leg, which also can be called as a first intermediate leg, you can see that even that first leg is again divided into 5 leg structure. So you can actually know that in a larger degree how many legs of trend there can be. If we are talking about a one circle one, which is uh, also called as a primary structure, because the way you write the degree also talks about its size. So if you're writing one circle, we are talking about more than a 9 month structure. So the one circle of a 9 month structure is divided into few months structure, and that few month structure uh, is uh, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the one circle is divided into five smaller legs, and then those five smaller legs is further subdivided into 21 legs. So the number of legs are are countable, and the number of legs are in Fibonacci numbers. So the first leg is 1 and 1, which again is the Fibonacci number. If you join them, they are again equal to 2, which is again a Fibonacci number. If you subdivide, if you only count the waves in brackets, then you will see 5 waves are going up and 3 bracket waves are coming down, which again is 5 is Fibonacci, 3 is Fibonacci, 8 is Fibonacci. If you join them and so on, you can continuously see Fibonacci numbers in the mathematical counting of Elliot. And so these are the broad reasons why Elliot, Fibonacci are are really scientific theories, or scientific models, or scientific structures. Market is very complex, so it is really about interpretation of Elliot than about the tool itself. And there is another reason why Elliot, uh, why we can never get 100% right accuracy with Elliot, because ultimately we are only studying a limited degree of time. There we can study 2 weeks, we can study 3 months, we can study 1 year, we can study 10 years, but there is a certain time which is always affecting the markets, which we may not be able to study. The market itself may have a limited history, and the market itself, like for example, X Horton indices are going from 1720s, and Dow index is starting from 1884. So we may study 1884 market, but we still somewhere will have limited historical data, and that historical data may still, if we could consider that, may give us a clearer picture. So there always will be a limited uh, information. The information can never be complete, and this is what Herbert Simon said, that in the idea of bounded rationality, that human beings uh, can never have complete information, because their rationality is limited to their knowledge, and their knowledge may increase, and but again their knowledge will always be limited, and will not be complete, because they'll always be discovering things, and they'll always be their understanding of things, or our understanding of stars is different if we were in if our knowledge was in 1100. If our knowledge is today in 2010, our knowledge is a bit more, but we do not know complete things. So they will always know incomplete things, and that is why now you can use Elliot and you can use various mathematical structures to understand things, but we can never understand things completely. So this is how the connection between Elliot and the mathematical sequence was there. And now we are starting to show you some cases where we are talking about, um, where we'll be speaking about how the 61.8 Fibonacci prices or retracement can help us understand the market structure. Now this is something which we um, carried in sometime 25th April 2010. Now this is an old chart, and on 25th April 2010, this is a Dow Jones structure, and Dow Jones was struggling at 11,145, and 61.8 retracement is a very key level, because it's a key level because it's a key proportion. If such a proportion is broken, if such a proportion is markets are going through that proportion, that is where it starts to challenge the previous proportion. So the previous proportion from 2008 was down and the market went down till March 2009. And if there is a change of trend and if Dow Jones has to go to a new high, it has to first challenge the most significant proportion, that is 61.8. So 61.8 proportion at these levels could be the first test or the first important level where it can say that yes, the proportion that is coming from March 2009 is going to be more important and more significant than the proportion which is coming from 2008 high till March 2009 low. So this is a kind of market symmetry, two market symmetries fighting against each other. And the moment the one market symmetry challenges 61.8% of the previous symmetry, this symmetry or this move from March 2009 becomes significant. So for me, it is not much of doubt that if these levels are significantly broken and prices continue to stay above these prices, then we are looking at new highs on Dow Jones. So it is this is how simply the market symmetry works. Now, same way, if I talk about the Fibonacci proportion of the fall from 2007, 14th October 2007 till 8th March 2009, it was again a 50% proportion of the leg previously from say 1975. So the proportions are always very important to understand, because if the proportions are challenged, the market trends are challenged. Now, coming back to exponentiality, which I was showing you as a Wilfred-Pareto curve, which says that there's a lot of time markets don't do any action, and then there is certain time markets do the most action. So this is, if you see a price structure, this is a linear scale. I've not made a logarithmic scale here. On a linear scale, you can see that from 1961 till about 1987, market moved in 1987, say 1990 also. So 30 years, market moved less than 30% of the total move. So less than 30% market moved for 30 years, and from 1990 to 2000, in 10 years, in one third of the time, it moved 70%. So this is how any asset, any price action, and that is why markets are a lot about patience. Because if you lose patience, you are invested in the market from 1960s to 1990, and then you say, okay, you got old and you markets don't do anything and they don't make money, and from 1990 till 2000 market made everybody rich, and just you remain poor. So the whole idea about market timing is also to understand when the market is sleeping and when the market is awake. And this is all about the proportionality structure, which I am explaining you in terms of exponentiality. So exponentiality, putting simply, is that market makes 80% of the move in 20% of the time, from om also the obzage to do me was 20 years, and from 1960 to 1980 was again those age they are. In the 20 years, market moved 10% or 15%, and in the next 20 years, market moved 80%. So this happens all the time, and it is not only about 1960s or 2000. You can look at a weekly chart, you can look at a daily chart, you can look at a 60-minute chart, you can look at a 5-minute chart, and you'll still see these exponentiality structures. I've drawn some of the exponentiality structures here on Dow Jones on different time frames, and most of them have this structure. Some of them I've mirrored them to show exponentiality, because it is only an up exponentiality I'm showing. The exponentiality works both downside and upside. So there are, when markets also fall, the markets fall 80%.